Alright, welcome back to WMMA Now with your host Chuck Stevenson. Coming at you with some huge news out of one championship. So the Singapore-based martial arts promotion has announced the full fight card for their first ever all-ladies event, One Championship Empower. Now, of course, this fight or event is headlined by a strawweight championship bout between Xiong Jingnan and Michelle Nicolini, and of course the previously announced women's Atomweight World Grand Prix quarterfinals. But today they announced the full card, which adds another, a Muay Thai bout, as well as two alternate bouts for the women's Atomweight World Grand Prix. So let's not waste time. Let's go ahead and get into the fight card. So first up to be announced is going to be one of the alternate bouts for the Atomweight World Grand Prix between Grace Cleveland and the winner of the upcoming bout between B. Nguyen and Jenny Lynn Olsen. Now, Nguyen and Olsen are scheduled to compete. Well, they already competed, but their bout will be aired next, a little over a week from now, the time of this recording, on One Battleground 3. Of course, Nguyen coming in more experienced, Olsen newer to One, but a hot prospect as well. And then the winner of that bout will face Grace Cleveland. Now, Cleveland, up until today, was previously announced as an opponent for Grand Prix contestant Mung Bo. Of course, today they announced some changes, and now Cleveland has been relegated to the alternate bout to face an opponent that she doesn't even know who she's facing yet, or if she does, she hasn't been able to say it and won't be able to say it until next Friday. In the other alternate bout, we have Mei Yamaguchi taking on Julie Meza-Barba. Now, up until like early last year, Mei Yamaguchi, she was the number 2 fighter in this division, just below the champion Angela Lee, who she had gone to decision with twice. Yamaguchi, however, lost to Denise Zamboanga, and she has not fought since then, so she is in this alternate bout. A lot of people expected her to be in it and were surprised when she was not announced for the Grand Prix. Now, Meza-Barba, up until about a week or two ago, she was supposed to be the one facing Mung Bo in the quarterfinals of the Grand Prix. She had replaced Ritu Phogat. I'm not familiar with Meza-Barba. I haven't had a chance to watch any of her fights yet. I'll try to do that before the event, though, and let you know what I see. But, like I said, up until a week or two ago, she was supposed to be the one facing Mung Bo, as she had replaced Ritu Phogat. So then we move on to two striking battles. First up, we have a Muay Thai bout between Jackie Bunton and Danielle Lopez. I'm not familiar with Lopez. Bunton made a name for herself by, just whooping Wonder Girl Fairtex, knocking her down in the first round, almost knocking her out, and then just outlanding her over the next 2 rounds. And then we have a kickboxing bout between former Glory champion Anissa Meksen and Christina Morales. Now, Morales is actually a replacement. Originally, Meksen was supposed to face Martine Micheletto. Meksen, she has over 100 kickboxing bouts, and I think her record stands at somewhere around 100 wins to only 5 losses. She is the top female kickboxer in the world, probably, hands down. Interesting about this bout is that it is being contested at one atom weight, which is 115 pounds, whereas Meksen has fought the majority of her career, I believe, at 125 pounds. So that will be interesting. Then we move into the Atomweight Grand Prix quarterfinals. Now, first up, we have Itsuki Hirata taking on Elise Anderson. Now, I do have a full preview that you can check out. I will link it in the description below. Hirata, of course, a rising star in One Championship. Anderson, not as known to, One Championship fans, but if you follow Invicta FC, you're definitely familiar with her, especially her win by flying triangle choke. Then we have the quarterfinal bout between Meng Bo and Ritu Phogat, who had found her way out of the Grand Prix by taking a loss to Bi Nguyen, and now finds her way back in. Meng Bo, of course, the Chinese striker, taking on the Indian wrestler in Phogat. So this bout was made, and then it was off, and now it's back on again. Then we have the rematch between Aliona Rasohina and Stamp Fairtex. Now these two fought earlier this year, early this year, with Rasohina coming out ahead via last second guillotine submission. Of course, Stamp Fairtex immediately protested, saying she did not tap. So now we are getting this rematch. Very excited for this one. I also did a full preview for this bout that I will link in the description below. Then we have what is for a lot of people the most anticipated of the Grand Prix quarterfinal bouts, when current ranked number 1 Denise Zamboanga takes on, Atomweight absolute legend Sahi Ham. The Filipino Zamboanga, she made a name for herself in One Championship when she first had beaten the previously undefeated Gian Radzuan. Then she took on Mei Yamaguchi and handled Mei Yamaguchi more definitively than anyone we've seen in One Championship before that. There was no doubt that Zamboanga had beaten Mei Yamaguchi in that bout, which is something that we can't say when Yamaguchi went up against current champ Angela Lee. So Zamboanga absolutely blew up because of that. Now Sahi Ham, I mean, what can I say about her that hasn't been said before? Before signing with One, she was the number 1 ranked atomweight in the world. She is coming off a win over current and then rising super atomweight champ Ayaka Hamasaki, and had won 6 straight bouts, with 4 of them coming by way of finish. She was the Road FC champion, and then the Rising champion. Now she hasn't fought in almost 2 years, so she is coming in with some ring rust. That will be interesting to see, but for a lot of people, and I mean a lot of knowledgeable MMA fans, Sahi Ham is the favorite to win here. Personally, I'm a little worried because she is coming up in weight to 115 pounds, where One atomweight is contested at. So this one, I also did a full preview on that I will link in the description below. Then finally, we have the main event. Xiong Jingnan, the champ, taking on Michelle Nicolini for the Strawweight 125-pound championship. This bout, I'm really looking forward to. Xiong, we all know where she's coming from. She is a striker. She comes out with crisp, fast, hard punches. Michelle Nicolini, multiple-time World BJJ champion. Xiong is going to look to keep this on the feet. Nicolini is going to look to take it to the ground. It all depends on who can bring the other fighter, or who can force the fighter, their opponent, to fight their fight. I'm working on the preview for this one, so keep an eye out for it. When I do finish it, I will link it in the description. But definitely keep an eye out for that one. Very much looking forward to this championship bout. Been a while since Xiong defended her title. I believe she's coming off a win over Tiffany Teo, if I remember correctly, in a rematch. Nicolini, I believe, has not fought since she defeated Angela Lee at Strawweight. So both fighters coming in off of very big wins into this championship bout. And it's a perfect headliner for this all-women's event. So there you have it. One Championship Empower. This goes down Friday, September 3rd. Check the listings or keep an eye on onefc.com. They usually put an article up about how to watch and list the different countries that it'll be available in. So definitely keep an eye out on that. Now, I will admit, I am super excited. This is the first all-ladies event put on by a major worldwide promotion. However, there are some problems and some questions I have that I want to go over, so I'm going to go over them right now. First up, the alternate bouts. What is up with these new people? Okay, Julie Meza Barba is new to one championship. Jindalyn Olsen only has one previous fight. She'll have two if she beats B. Nguyen. And then Grace Cleveland has never fought for one championship before either. So what is up with all the new people in the alternates? Chatri Sityoton had mentioned that, when asked about a lot of other fighters, such as Gian Radzuan, Priscilla Hurtati Lumbangal, Buzena Antoniar, Gina Inion, and he said, we have some alternate bouts coming up and they'll feature some of those fighters, or those fighters are going to be looked at. But here we only have, two actual one championship regulars in these alternate bouts, in Mei Yamaguchi, and hey, I have no problem with Mei. She should be in the Grand Prix proper, but if she can't be in there, then the alternate bout is A-okay by me. And B. Nguyen, but like I said, three people that are basically unknown in one. Why not bring in the regulars for these alternate bouts? Radzuan has an audience. Lumbangal has Indonesia behind her. I can understand maybe Bozena Antoniar. She's from Myanmar. There's problems going over there. Where's Gina Inion? She had her kid a while ago. She should be back as well. Number two, all the ridiculous favoritism towards Ritu Phogat. And I mean, it is ridiculous favoritism towards her. Okay, I get it. She's out of India, and that is a huge untapped market for one championship. But good Lord, that's a lot of favoritism. Also, she's on Team Evolve. Who owns Team Evolve? Chatri Sityoton. Who's the CEO of one? Chatri Sityoton. So, boom, you're getting double favoritism in both trying to tap into that Indian market and you got a Team Evolve fighter. Man, the favoritism being shown towards Ritu Phogat is ridiculous. Okay, it was announced that had she lost to B. Nguyen, that she would be out of the tournament. She lost to B. Nguyen. She was out of the tournament. And now, with less than a half a month before the tournament starts, before this event, now she's suddenly back in. And according to OneFC.com, they're using her recent win over Lin Hae-jin, who was on a nice win streak, I will give that. Her win over Lin Hae-jin was enough to get her back in. I'm sorry, but getting a win over a fighter who hadn't fought in over 2 years is not really enough to erase a loss to a girl who at the time had a losing record in B. Nguyen. And that's nothing against B. But beating a girl, like I said, beating a girl coming off of over 2 year layoff is, not enough to erase the memory of her losing, of Ritu losing to a fighter coming into that bout with a losing record. I mean, I'm sorry, this blatant favoritism is beyond ridiculous. Also, Ritu has had more fights in the last 2 years. Her whole career starts at the end of 2019. She has had more fights for one championship than most of their regulars. A lot of the regulars, like Mei Yamaguchi, has only fought once in the last year and a half. Gene Radzuan hasn't fought. There's a lot of fighters on one's roster that aren't getting fights, period, since the whole pandemic thing started. Ritu Phogat has been fighting non-stop. She's, what now, 5-1? Let me look this up here real quick. Ritu Phogat is now 5-1. Guess what? All 5 of those 6 fights have come since the start of 2020. So she had 1 fight in 2019. The rest have come in a time when most fighters aren't even getting fights. I'm sorry, the favoritism here is beyond ridiculous. And then bouncing off of that, move on to my low point number 3. Mung Bo is getting screwed here. Okay, and I don't like to use that term lightly, but Mungbo is getting screwed, okay? She has had 3 opponent changes since the Grand Prix roster was announced. She was supposed to fight Ritu Phogat. Phogat lost. So then she was supposed to fight Julie Meza Barba. And then like a week, 2 weeks ago, it was announced that she wouldn't be facing Meza Barba, but would be fighting Grace Cleveland. Now, with a half a month to go, we find out she's now facing Ritu Phogat. That's ridiculous. That is way too many opponent changes in a time when she is supposed to be preparing for a fight. Now, granted, I will admit, I think Mungbo trains the same way for all of her opponents. I mean, she seems to apply her same style to all of her opponents. But you still got to prepare properly for certain opponents. I mean, Grace Cleveland and Meza Barba were not ground fighters, or certainly weren't wrestlers. So here she was, all this time since what? April? She's been preparing to not face any wrestlers. Now, 2.5 weeks before the event, she suddenly has to face a wrestler again. That's just wrong. They are doing Mungbo wrong, all in favor of Ritu Phogat. Honestly, I like one championship for the most part, but this is unprofessional conduct on their part to be doing this to one of their fighters to favor another one. Okay, look, tournaments are wacky. You expect wackiness to happen during tournaments. You expect fighters to drop out. But the tournament hasn't even started yet, and there's all kinds of wackiness and shenanigans going on. So Mungbo is just getting screwed. So other than those low points, I'm really excited about this event. I had planned to do a companion stream. Unfortunately, I could not get the morning off from work, so I'm going to be watching it and just tweeting out like I do with most events. I was really hoping to do a live companion, but it's just not going to work out. Anyway, this goes down. One Championship Empower goes down September 3rd, Friday. Friday evening if you're in Asia, Friday morning if you're in the US. Anyway, like I said, check local listings. Keep an eye out on 1fc.com. They always list, how to watch these events. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the card in the comments down below. If you like this video, please give it a like and go ahead and share it as well. That helps the channel grow. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.